Hello there, I'm the base manager and welcome back to Space Engineers. Now, today we have to expand our little base over here. It's tiny and we want to make it bigger, especially because we want to have enough materials to start building flyer vehicles. But unfortunately the space around here is not exactly the greatest. Well, mining by hand, it can be a little bit tedious, don't you think? That's why I kinda built this assembler and refinery in this spot with this port facing forward, because I need a little bit of space to stick myself a piston with some drills on top of it, because I kinda want to make the drilling process automatic. But first, we need to see one thing. I kinda want to check one thing, because I remember vaguely that I might need... yeah... that might be an issue. I need metal grids. Metal grids are made out of cobalt, and in case you were not around here in the previous 2 episodes, we have no cobalt. And that is a tiny little issue, because I need a little bit of cobalt. This thing... it's not... I need a container. If we don't have a container, we are going to be wasting resources by using a piston miner. You know, because the refinery thingy can only hold a little bit of resources, so... yeah, that might be an issue to overcome, but for now, what I might do is just, you know, waste a few resources. After all, this is just stone. There is plenty of stone around. And that might get me going on some resources. And maybe we might just go out there and explore a little bit to see if we can find that cobalt. But first, let me just do one thing quickly, which is go over here. What is the name of that thing? I forgot. It's the junction thingy. Should be around here. Conveyor junction. Hello, beautiful. Come here. You can come as well, as I'm going to need you. I think that is going to be it. Given that we don't have a container, we are going to use a junction right here to serve as the soon-to-be container. And I need some plates, of course. Right, we can just grind this one down later and put a container in here. Now, I could go and use one of these over here, right? But if I do this and I grind down that junction over there, the piston is going to fall into the ground, right? And we don't want that. That's why I'm going to use another junction over here, so that we have a solid block holding the piston itself. Cool. Now, speaking about pistons, let's go over here. Piston. Give me one of those, and I'm also going to need one of you, an inch. Come here, beautiful. I might be inviting some clang into this base, but because it's on a solid block, no one cares about that. On a solid block, I mean, it is attached to the ground, so I'm pretty sure the game cannot create forces stronger than the ground itself, or at least that's what I'm going to hope. And there we go. Hopefully this is going to give us enough space for what I kinda want to do. I want to put at least 3 drills. I'm just thinking, should I convert to small grid drills, because these are kind of expensive, so I think I'm going to do that. For that we need an advanced rotor. There we go. Then we grind the rotor head. Now, if it was in a later stage of the game, I would... oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, no, 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 stop, 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 stop. Okay, I have to get into the habit of locking things into place. Oh boy. As I was saying, right, come on, let's go into the build vision and let's add a small head. Let's lock that head. This time I remembered. Oh boy. And now that we have a small head, we can add... Let's go into over here. Drill. There we go. And this way, let me just show you why I kind of wanted to convert this. As we can see, small grid drill 20 plates, large grid drill 180 plates. That's a major amount of resources. And I'm going to be honest, the area of effect, it's not that different. It is a little bit, but not exactly significant. Bam, bam, and bam. Okay, this is going to be very basic for now, but the cool thing is, because we can use the grinder to recover all of the resources, we can then in the future just grind this down and add a few more things. But the objective for now is just to clear us some space, and then use the hinge to go to the side to pretty much at least get ourselves 10 meters of space in all of this range, so that we can start building some stuff, you know? And this is already enough, so now we all know the drill. I'm going to go like this, and like this, and like this, and like this, and I'm going to put the things into the production queue, and I'm going to weld them in place. So just give me a moment while I take care of this. Now guys, the advantage of building our base over here, it's actually not as apparent maybe for you, because most of the mining part I have to cut out, but the fact that I can come over here and collect myself 1 or 2 loads of materials and then have all the necessary resources to complete that build that we just got ourselves into is just fantastic, because well, our little rover over there took me like 5,000 different trips to get materials, and this one, I'm pretty sure that we are going to get all that we... Yep, we already have everything that we need. This journey was unnecessary, apparently. So let me just finish welding these off, because we are already almost done. Beautiful, here we go. There we go. Now, given our current power situation, we might not have enough power for a long time. But that's okay, because as we mentioned before, we don't have a lot of storage. So, like, any amount of materials that we get from here is going to be plenty. Trust me. Now... Oh, hello. You are too far away. Now, let's go over here into our hinge. Let's use build vision. Let's see. Lower limit. Let's say 0 degrees. Come on. Come on, give me 0 degrees. There we go. Now we should be able to set this to, let's say, 30 degrees for now. Just out of safety concerns. We don't want to smack our drills against the floor, against the walls laterally. We want to do it in the forward direction. So 30 degrees it is. As for torque, well, I'm going to be honest, I'm not exactly... I don't know how much torque is too much and how much torque is too little. So we are going to just diminish it a little bit. Braking torque, we kind of want to make it similar but slightly lower than the torque itself. Now let's try to put this back into its place without smacking against anything. And I kind of want to go in the other direction, please. But we are not moving because we don't have enough torque. More torque? Really, more? It's that heavy, huh? Okay, okay. Apparently that was very little torque. Let's go over here once again into the RPM thingy, and we want to have negative RPM, please. Sir, you're going the wrong way. I mean, it would help if I took out the freaking lock. Now, let's not be stupid, okay? Base manager, take the freaking lock off. Makes a lot of sense to move your stuff when it's not locked. But in any case, now we are going to put this back into its 0 position. We already set the limits, and we just want to wait a little bit until it is exactly pointing forward without anything exploding, please. And I think it's going to be fine right now. Stop! Thank you. Now we remove that. We lock the hinge once again. And now we need to set up our piston over here. Okay, if we go over here into the control panel for the piston, we can see that we have a bunch of values over here, right? We have our velocity, maximum distance, blah 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 blah. What we care in here is to make sure that the maximum distance is in the maximum, and we want to here we go, max impulse and non-axis. We want to reduce this a lot. This pretty much means that the piston will not push when forces are applied to it sideways, and as far as I understand, pistons tend to explode when that is the case, so that's why we want to reduce that, to avoid the piston pushing forward if forces are being applied to it, just out of safety concern. Now we kinda want to do the same to the max impulse axis over here, however, we want just enough force to make sure the piston is pushing forward, but is going to stop pushing forward the second it meets any resistance, so to avoid our drills becoming shrapnel. Now, this is mostly this value is very experimental. If we explode stuff, well, you will laugh and I will cry, but that is going to be okay. Now, as for the velocity, I'm going to set it as 0.05 for now. And please stop. Don't go pushing things for now, okay? Take it easy. We're just setting you up. Okay? Okay. Okay, so these values for now we are going to leave them as is, really low values, just to make sure, in case I turn on things without noticing, that things will not explode. Right? Right. And after that, we need a way to turn this thing on and off, and by that, and for that, I mean, we are going to build a button. Button panel, I believe this one has the single button thingy. Okay, here we go, for button panel. I mean, it gives us more options. It's never bad to have options, I suppose. Okay, so now we must go over here. Control panel, drills, right? We are going to group them as the main drill. Okie dokie, we are going to go over here, group, main drill, button number 1, toggle this block on off. So if we go over here, stop, don't go mining stuff just yet. We are not connected, okay? Take it easy. Okay, so now we have a way to turn that on, and now, since we have more buttons, why not? Right? Why the frick not? Let's go into our piston over here. Extend the piston. Extend. And retract. Because why not? Now we have options. Cool. So, everything is almost set up. We just need one final thing. We need to finish this conveyor junction off. I let it off as the last piece because it's going to block our port over there, and we cannot access through these ones. We can only access through the gray and yellow ones, but it's not going to be a major problem. We can always access through here as well. So we still have access to our logistics. It's just going to be a little bit more annoying. Okay guys, so this one is welded. Time to make our first test of this thing. Main drills on. So now that the drills are on, this thing should start to work eventually. Let's take a look over here, inventory. The stone is not moving through. Stop, 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 stop. That means something is not built. This is built. we found the culprit. Okay, so in here, what we can see is actually the port system not exactly being compatible. I forgot that one thing. It's one of those details. Okay, it's one of those details that one tends to forget. The small drills have small ports on them. The large grid drills have large ports on them. Completely forgot about that, so we need to do a few modifications to this thing. First, let me just get rid of that, of the heaviest stuff. Let's go over there, please. Get out of here, let's keep on grinding. So, we have two options available to us. First option is to use a conveyor junction to try and convert from large grid to small grid. However, due to the small grid placement in this block, we can only do set conversion this way. The front block will always be a large grid. There is no way around it. Not without mods, that is. So, another thing that you can do is just scrap the entire thing and go for a large grid drill. It is far more expensive, but I'm going to be honest, the troubles and tribulations that you have to go through to make it small grid, it is not worth the headache, I'm going to be honest. It's best just to tank the expense and go for a large grid drill instead. So let's do just that. One large grid drill cannot be placed because it is way too big, and I need to open up a little bit more space. Okay, so we do have enough space, but as we can see, this thing is huge. It's really huge, so we are going to have to make do with one drill for now, and we'll expand it as we gain more resources from this. The main purpose of this, after all, is just to make a little bit more room, because we are going to need room to make a vertical drill going all the way to our iron deposit over there. That requires some space to be achieved. Well guys, I'm sorry for this blunder, but one cannot be blamed for the vast amount of stuff that there is in this game. And there we go, guys, we have a ginormous drill. Now we should be careful not to be in front of it when that thing is on. That can be very bad for your health. Let's go over here, drill, turn block on off. Test number 55. Let's go over here. The stone is being channeled all the way to our refinery. That is beautiful. Fan-freaking-tastic. Now, the amount of resources that we are getting right now is minuscule, because we are just scraping the surface of the wall. Now we want to be very careful while doing this. We want to be sure that this thing is not going to be very aggressive. What is this noise? Why are you not working properly now? Let me take a look. We do have the power, so it's not a power concern. It's probably you are not getting the materials that you are needing. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so first and foremost, let's start by extending the piston. Are you going? You are not going. Okay, so now is when we go over here and we try to address the situation by giving it a little bit more force until it starts expanding. Come on, I just want to give you precisely the amount of force that you need to overcome the... Wait a moment. Okay, it is useful to turn on the piston after all, but as we can see, it's still not moving. Okay, so let's give it a tad bit more strength. And let's see, there is no piston separation just yet. So we go over here and start giving it a little bit more strength. And a little bit over here as well, because it also needs strength over here to overcome the resistance of the lateral forces. Like I said, we just... Oh, here we go. You're just giving it enough. You hear the piston constantly going off. That's because it is... how should I put it? It cannot win over the resistance of the wall. Right? But that's kind of what we want. We want it to expand only as the wall is being mined out. As we can see, the wall is slowly but steadily being drilled upon, and that's kind of what we want. Just make sure that nothing explodes. So just in case the drill gets caught up in one of these hedges, the piston will not force it until it goes boom. Okay? That way we can always make sure that we come back to our things and we fix them without they exploding. But great. Now, this is going to be slightly annoying, these noises going off, but it's better to be annoying than being exploded. And cool, we are processing stone. Now it's just a matter of me making some fine adjustments to make this slightly more efficient. Alright, so here we go. All I need to do was to increase the speed to 0.1, and now we are making a bunch of materials pretty much without no effort. However, because we only have one turbine, we should be careful not to make our base go completely without power. But those resources will now fuel our future expansion, which means I can now start thinking about adding additional turbines, additional drills to this setup, and well, doing many more things. But for now, power is actually more important. Alright, so when it comes to power, as far as I understand it, the wind turbines cannot be close to each other. I believe they need to have a 7 tile gap between them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And over here on the 8th is the place where we are going to build the other turbine, and we are going to attach it to the voxel material, at least for now. Once I mine out more stuff out of our base, we will then connect this pillar to the main base as well. But for now it is not exactly necessary, and let me guess, interior plates, of course, because that's the material that I don't have. So the piston is only a little bit over halfway through, and we already have our refinery filled up with stone, and the drill itself is filling up with a good amount of that stuff, so materials should not be a major concern for us anytime soon. Okie dokie, here we go, last component put into place. We were producing 293 of power with one turbine, and that unknown signal is slightly far away. So we were doing 293, now we are doing, let's go over here, turbine number 1, 287, I believe we are... there might be a small amount of interference, and this one is doing 232. I believe it is because it's closer to the voxel material. You know, it is attached to this one. Maybe that is going to change once we connect it to the lower part of the base. I don't know. All I know is that we are generating a little bit more power now. We still are not recharging, I'm pretty sure. If we go over here into the batteries... oh! I stand corrected. The drill does not consume as much power as I thought it would. Okay, so we are recharging now. Fan-freaking-tastic. This means we can do a little bit of scouting in the nearby area to see if I can find that freaking cobalt. It would be amazing. Silver would also be nice. I mean, any material would be nice, to be honest. But cobalt would be the desired one, just so we can have some storage around this place. Okay, so we're off. I'm going to go this way now. Instead of going down, I'm going to go up and see what we can find. 1.4 kilometers away from our base, I found some nickel, and most of the times minerals are never by themselves. Let's park our thingy. Oh, it's just flashed on my screen. Probably. I hope that you guys seen that. Come on, get in there. Game, don't lie to me. Don't you lie to me. I saw it. I saw... Ah, there we go. You're not lying to me. We... This was such a better deposit. We had iron, cobalt, and nickel in the same spot. Oh... regret, regret, regret. But oh well, it doesn't really matter. It is what it is. We already have our base started. The iron node was the most important after all. Cobalt is actually important as well, but not as important. It's not the main material that we are looking for. So, please don't do that. Okay, no, stop. Stop right now. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to do this. GPS. Cobalt slash nickel slash iron. Okay. Cool. And now I'm going to first locate my car, because I have a terrible sense of direction. And then I'm going to drill a hole in the floor and get myself a little bit of cobalt. We don't need a lot. Full inventory worth should be more than enough. Okay, so here we go, insert of cobalt. Should be relatively quickly. Now, if you are wondering how do I make those wormholes, through the middle of the floor you just crouch, right click, and every time you clear a block you move a little bit forward. That's pretty much it. That way you go down and forward at the same time. Oh, here we go. Cool. Let me get some cobalt for myself. Well, when I said one inventory worth of stuff, what I actually meant was maybe 4 inventories worth of stuff. Yeah. We have 5,000 over there. Let's put this on the back to make sure the weight is evenly distributed. The car is not full because we have to roll down the hill and I don't want to flip myself. But before we go, a very important thing to do, guys. Really, I'm not joking. Build yourself a pillar. Oh, you're joking. I mean, I have construction components. I'm pretty sure I can build something with those. But yeah, build yourself a pillar to note where your entrance is when you are driving, so that you don't drive your vehicle into your hole. Let me just find something that I can build with construction components to mark this. Yeah, there is nothing you can build with construction components. Yeah, let's ignore that and let's go back. Luckily for me, it's just a downhill journey, so I don't even need to accelerate. Like, I have to be honest with you guys, this rover is actually super great. Look at the extreme angles this thing is doing while being loaded, and it's not flipping. It's actually pretty darn stable. My problem is that I don't remember the way that I came back in, and all that I can find is cliffs and more cliffs. I mean, when you're facing downhill, everything seems a little bit too steep. Don't you agree? But I look at that artificial horizon and I cannot help myself not to be scared, especially when the wheels do that. Please put that ass on the floor. Put that ass on the floor, please. Thank you. Come on, we need the traction. Go for me. This is not ideal. I'm glad for that gyro now. Really glad. But this is a sticky situation. Gyro, where are you? Beautiful. Come on. Show me a little bit of love and put that ass on the floor. Nope, the gyro says, and no, I don't want to put it. Okay, gyro, that's fine. That's fine. More RPM, but please don't flip this thing. No, don't you dare. Okay, go slowly on this. Come on. Ass on the floor, please. These gyros are just fantastic, guys. Look at this thing. We are pretty much like pointing nose down completely, and the gyro is still able to overcome the forces of gravity. Now I just need to overcome the forces of me being stupid and finding myself and jamming myself into a cliff. This is so sketchy, guys, so sketchy. I'm going to do it, but oh my god, please don't go like that. Oh, oof, here we go. See? Fan-freaking-tastic. Now it's no longer a problem. That cliff was probably the bumpiest part of our journey. And there we are, guys. Back to our base. I think I'm going to nickname this rover the Spider-Man, because clearly this thing just sticks to a surface and it doesn't let go, which is great for us. Now, one thing before we leave the cockpit, okay, so we avoid having a disaster happen. Let's go to our gyro. Let's remove some of this strength, because the second I remove that cobalt, come on, let's go back to what it was, around this amount of RPM, because the second we remove the cobalt there is no resistance and the rover could, you know, flip itself, and that would be bad. Now is just the tedious task of transferring the cobalt from here into our miner. And let's take a look at our drill over here, completely extended. How much stuff do you have inside of you? Everything has been processed, and we have 1.1 of iron, but we were producing a bunch of plates, so you know, it is acceptable. There you go. Now that is more important, so please do that. Let's turn off the drill. Turn off the drill, retract the piston, and now we wait. Alright guys, so with the cobalt being processed, what do you need? Interior plates, okay. With the cobalt being processed, we now have available to us, let's go over here into production, metal grids. Metal grids use cobalt, and we didn't have that before, but now we do. And that means we can make the storage, finally. I think I repeated myself. What the hell? I lost my train of thought. In any case, just take those plates, thank you. Now, before I was going to deconstruct that conveyor, but that's not exactly necessary. We can just go over here. Come on, flip this the right direction, thank you, and we can just stick that in there. For now, it will work, so yeah, I don't see why not. And here we go, guys. Our little excursion was totally worth it, because now we have our first small cargo container. Now, these things are small. Indeed, it has less storage than the drill itself, but it's a win. Let's consider it a win for us. Now we also know where additional materials are, such as the nickel and the cobalt itself, and well, we have this thing operational now. Now that we have completely extended this one time, let's just do it a final time before the end of the episode. So we are going to go over here into velocity, and we are going to give it a little bit positive, inch lock off, and I think that's good for now. Let's take a look, no, let's say 5 degrees. 5 degrees, let's go over here. 5 degrees, where are you? Velocity 10, RPMs, inch lock off. And 5 degrees, it's good enough. Stop. That's not what I meant to do. Yeah, I think we are good on this. We don't want to go too far, because we don't want the drill to clip on anything. It's better just to, you know, slowly but steadily scrape on by. So let's turn on the drill, extend the piston, let it be, do your thing, mine me some resources, because eventually I'm going to need the space. But what I think I'm going to do is, in between episodes, I might just... Okay, for a moment I thought this thing was not exactly right in its angle. Between episodes I might just add an additional drill to the side of this thing, make it 2, and with the extra space that we are going to get, I can slam another drill over there so that we can extend the hinge more every time that we complete one of these drill runs. And that way we might just get ourselves enough space to make some sort of downward drill towards this iron deposit, because this iron deposit it's quite low, right? So let's see, let's take a look at our marker. What is the ear marker? Ear marker 36 meters. That's 3.5 pistons of distance between here and the surface. So we need a lot of space to slam all of those pistons, plus more pistons to go deeper into the resource nodes. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it for future me to deal with that problem. Oh no. Okay, enough parkour, base manager. And yeah guys, I think that's going to be it for this episode. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode and that you are enjoying the series so far. If you are, please consider subscribing and help the channel grow. But in the meantime, this is the base manager signing out. Bye bye!